28th of June, Rabbi Levitt, Pele Yoetz. Thank you.
V'tov pas harbe v'shalva ba. Shalva is serenity.
Right.
Suresh come and bleed tirdas halev without the heart being disturbed. V'tsar upachad tarid.
Right.
Or fear and or pain. Tirda halev v'tsar upachad tadir, and pain and suffering will be, or pain and fear will be continuous. Okay. Uman debishle bahada masa lazil lemasa achrite lahamotzi margoa lenafsho. Whoa.
Lazil lemasa achrisa. Uman, and the one debishle bahada masa, who has it. Bish is a language of the opposite of good. He doesn't have good. Bahada masa. Masa is the place.
Mm-hmm.
In this particular place that he is now settled in. So what did he do? Lazel.
Masa. He goes to a different place.
Let him go to a different place.
Lahamti, to find Margoa Lanafsho, calmness or rest for his soul. Ulavakesh Manoach Asher Yetev Lo Lavodas Abore, and to ask for rest that will be good for his Avodas Hashem. V'yesh lo Shum Asek, and if he has some sort of business, Hechrechi Yamaher Yachish Maasehu Yafe Shah Achas Kodem Kadei Lepanos Libo Mitirduzu. Yamahir Yachish Maasehu.
So if he has an asik, if he has some type of an asik hechrechi, he has some type of a asik. Over here, maybe he means a matter to attend to. Perhaps it's his business, hechrechi, which he can't do without.
Mm-hmm. You should do it quickly.
Yachish, he should act with alacrity and be quick. Maseyu Yofe, his actions should be quick and quick. Yofe Shah Achas, the good one moment kodem beforehand. Kedei lefanos libo mitir dezu. In order to free himself from this matter. From this particular tirda that he has this important matter to attend to. Do it without delay before it gets too bothersome.
Shehei alav tirda achas bechusa. They should only have this one bothersome thing to worry about.
Right. Right. You should have one less thing to worry about, right?
Okay. V'chein tov legever shekol davar sherotza lizkor bein memile deshmaya bein memile da'alma. And it's also good for a man that everything that he wants to remember, whether it has to do with Shemayim or has to do with on this world, Tekef Yershom Bigtav Lazikaron. He should write it down so he can remember it. Kadesh Loye Torah Lios Zocher. He shouldn't be worried about. He shouldn't be bothered about trying to remember these things. She Yershimu Laval Yishkach. Because worriness causes him to forget. Shekivin Shekasav Lo lo yasichnu mimachshavto. And if he writes it down, he's not going to forget it.
Right.
That was a very difficult passage. Just
Lo
the words.
yisichenu mimachshavto. He
Doesn't get lost from his mind.
kevan shekosov lo yisichenu mimachshavto. Right. He won't. Yeah, they translate over here in an interesting way. Once it's written down, he can set it aside from his thoughts.
Because it's written down, he's not going to forget it. So he leaves notes all the time. And then you lose the notes and you still forget it.
Yeah, but it says lo yasichenu. It won't
Right,
be
because it's-
removed from his mind. I don't know why he translated. He can, yes, set it aside from his thoughts. It won't, because it won't, when it's written down, he won't set it aside from his. Okay, same thing. He translated a little bit differently than I would have defined. Okay, good. And now the next paragraph. We go back to Alan.
What
To
page are you?
continue. We're on page 397. A round of applause for page 396.
Yay.
Oh, now I just thought of something. Especially since Eliezer is here, we have to have a separate round of applause for completing the Hebrew page. It doesn't correspond always to the. So we have. But he doesn't have the same Hebrew page as me. So now we'll have two more rounds of applause. One when Eliezer finishes his page, and one when I finish my page.
Yeah.
So I just finished Reish Sadi Dalet. A round of applause for Reish Sadi Dalet. Yay.
When we finish this page, I'll finish the first volume.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah.
so will we, I think. Yeah. Oh, no. No, not us.
That will need 2 rounds of applause, maybe 3, when we finish the whole volume.
Yeah, we still have Kaf in our edition to do. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we have,
Kaf.
yes, right. Very good. Okay, wow.
Which 397, which paragraph?
In truth,
In truth. In truth, it is proper for a person to place his trust in Hashem, to concentrate appropriately during the study of Torah, the time of prayer. Even if he has many responsibilities and numerous afflictions, even more than the misfortunes of Eov, nothing should deter him from the service of Hashem and Dvarim, and you will love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul. Our sages in Baruch 61b explain that this command applies even if Hashem takes your soul. But who is the man who can actually do this and persevere? Would that we succeed in worshiping our Creator with a perfect service when we have no distractions? We suffer from our evil inclination, who confuses our minds with alien thoughts and vanities. Whenever we have the slight distraction, we are like drunken men whose worship is polluted and we are not able to concentrate properly. Therefore, it is incumbent upon us to minimize the distractions in order to worship our Creator with a complete service. Yet, even with all our efforts, it remains uncertain.
it is incumbent upon us to minimize our distractions in order to worship our Creator with a complete service. Yet even with all of our efforts, it remains uncertain. What remains uncertain?
Whether or not we can minimize our distractions.
It's incumbent upon us to minimize our distraction. Let me see the Hebrew. V'chein choiva mutelas aleinu lema'et kol ma shenuchal v'tirdos. So therefore, it's incumbent upon us to remove as much as we are in our ability the tirdos, the things, the bothersome distractions that confront us, kedei lavod es borenu avoda tama, in order to serve Hashem in the best possible way. Kule hai v'ulai. Wow, that's very poetic. Kule hai v'ulai. That's a good one. I never saw that one. Kule hai means that much. Ulai, maybe that much, and maybe. So he says that it's still uncertain. It's still uncertain. Okay. So Alan says, what's uncertain over here is what's uncertain is to what extent we'll be able to remove the tirtas. Okay. All right. Hule hai v'ulai. And we go to the next paragraph. Last paragraph in this section. Peace of mind. Call upon Roy. Please.
Peace of mind is essential for the study of Torah in order that a person be able to analyze it properly, make accurate judgments, and delve deeply into legitimate halachic decisions. Fortunate is the man who can establish his learning in a designated place, which is exclusively for him, so that he is not disturbed by the members of the household and the sound of crying babies. Likewise, a person should be deliberate in all of his affairs, whether in the study of Torah, service of God, or general matters. This is because the fruit of rashness is regret. Deliberateness is worth 400 zuz, says Barachas 28.
Okay, so that's peace of mind. It's essential for Torah, and so therefore, it behooves a person to find a place that he can designate that that's a place which is set aside for learning. So he's not disturbed by all sorts of disturbances of his household and all the people in his household. Kain Yirbu. And so that's why we have a base medrash. That's why we have a base medrash. That people can go to a base medrash and they're free of all of these tirdos, all of these bothersome distractions and things that disturb our ability to focus on Torah. And then he says it doesn't apply only to Torah, it applies to all matters. It applies to Torah, it applies to Avodas Hashem in general, and also to any other matter as well. It needs any other matter as well, also needs peace of mind on the matter at hand and to analyze the matter and make an accurate judgment and decide what needs to be done, of course. And then he says this is because the fruit of rashness is regret. He needs.
What's the equation for 400 zoos?
Yeah, deliberateness is worth 400 zoos. That sounds like an interesting story over here. Alan has pointed out. What's this 400 zoos over here? So this Gemara in Brachos is calling out to us. Let's answer the call. Brachas 20a. Let's see. What's the answer to Alan's question? What's these 400 zoos over here? Okay, we get to see.
Wow.
We get to see another Gemara. Baruch Hashem. 20a. Deliberateness. Mastun arba mea zuze shabia. Like it says in Avos, it says, Have masunim badin. When a person needs to make a judgment on a certain matter, whether he's a judge or he's just a person also needs to make judgments. Every person is a judge. And judgment needs deliberateness. He has to deliberate over the matter. And that's worth 400 zoos. What's the story? Anybody see where it is on the page?
No.
I see something that might be it. I'm not sure. It says Ki ha derav ada. And it's Ki ha derav. Okay, the first word on the line is masrinan. It's about a third of the way down.
Yeah. Tzvina Nafsha, Kedushas Hashem. He was Moser Nefesh for the sanctification of Hashem's name. Kihad Ravada Bar Haba, Chazli Ahau Kusis. Ravada Bar Haba saw that there was a Kusis, a Kuthian woman. Those are the people that tried to convert. Question the Gemara has about the validity of their conversion. Was it L'Shem Shemaim or was it not? In any case, the Havas Levisha Karbalasa Beshuka. She had a dress on. It was the same color of the rooster's comb, bright red, in the middle of the marketplace. That doesn't, yeah. This is the story. Lou's got it. So let's continue with the story. So what did Ravada Bar Ahava do? Sabar the Bas Yisrael he thought that she was a Bas Yisrael for some reason. In other words, that she was a proper Jewish woman who's obligated to dress in a mode of sneus, in a mode of modesty. And to wear a dress of this color is the height of immodesty. So what did he do? Come, he got up, kara mina. He tore it off. I don't know what that accomplished. I hope she was wearing something underneath. So otherwise, it's also not very sanua. Anyway, we'll leave that question on the side. Igui milsa de kusis he. But in the end of the day, the matter was revealed that it was not a Jewish woman. In fact, it was a kusis, a Kuthian. So what happened? She went to the Bezdin, I guess, and the Bezdin heard the case. And what did they do? Shaimua arba mea zuze. They made a shuma. They made an evaluation. And the evaluation was that Rav Ada bar Hava has to give 400 zuz. Amrlei. He said to her, he asked her, Mashmech, what's your name? Amrlei, Masun. My name is Masun. Now this is very interesting because we know that Masun is in it means in Lashon HaKodesh, it means deliberate. Masun, havi masunim badin, like we said before. So these three letters, the shorish of mem, taf, and nun, are the word of deliberateness. So Amar Allah, he said to her, Masun, Masun, arba mea zuze shavya. So he called out deliberateness. It's worth 400 zuz, it is. That's the story.
It says here also that maton is like a word in Aramaic, which means 200.
Oh,
Oh, that's interesting.
There's a Rashi according to my footnote.
Okay, let's take a look at Rashi. There's a Rashi over here, Karbalosa. Shem Levush Chashuv. Oh, Rashi says, he doesn't explain it like I did. He says that it's the name of a particular very fancy and important style of a garment. Kamo Patshion v'Karbalahon. From Sefer Daniel. Okay, so Rashi himself says this. Masun lashon ma'asan. Right? Ma'as is 100. Daled meos. So what's Daled meos? Shtei pamim, shtei meos. Masun, 2 times. That's 2 times 200. Kloimar, Hashem Goramli. That was Rav Ada bar Hava's way of saying that that name cost me 400 zuz. Lashon acher, Masun, Lashon hamtana. To wait, to not be so hasty. Im hamtanasi, if I would have delayed a bit and deliberated a bit in the time that I delayed, Aisi mistaker daled meos zuz. I would have profited would have profited 400 zuz, not have to give it up. Okay. Any more comments over here on this matter? Oh, there's another point over here. Right, we introduced this this story talking about Mesiras Nefesh. Kamai habu kam masre nafshayu akdushas Hashem. Anan lo masrin nafshim akdushas Hashem. That's what one of the Amoroim said to his colleague. In the earlier generations, they were Moser Nefesh for the sanctification of Hashem's name. But us, we don't do that. Ilu anu ein anu mosrim nafshenu akedushas Hashem. V'kach ein anu zochim sheyasa lanu nisim k'moshe nasu lehem. And for that reason, since we're not Moser Nefesh al kedushas Hashem, we're not zocha to the nisim that they had. And then the Gemara brings the story of Rav Kahana. So what's not Rav Adabar Ahava rather. So the question over here would be, it would seem like the Gemara is bringing this as an example of someone who was Moser Nefesh for Kiddush Hashem. So one of the commentators, the Ben Yoyada, from Chachmei Sfarad, he asks the question, Heichon Matzino b'Masaseh Mesiras Nefesh. Where do we see in this act that Rav Adabar Ahava did Mesiras Nefesh, self-sacrifice for the sanctification of Hashem's name? Harehu Haya Sobur Shabbas Yisrael He. He thought that she was a Bas Yisrael.
Wow.
Let's see what he answers. I'm not exactly. I mean, I would have said simply that it's a sanctification of Hashem's name to be so concerned about the lack of appropriate dress in the marketplace, and that would be he's I don't know what the maybe his question is what's the Mesiras Nefesh of him in doing what he did. That's not Mesiras Nefesh, unless you'll say he knew he was going to have to pay for it. I don't know. Let's see what he answers. B'tiritz. He seems to be asking the question, why was it Mesiras Nefesh? It was he thought, according to his thinking, he thought that it was a Bas Yisrael. So what's the Mesiras Nefesh involved? I don't understand the question. He answers.
The question is, you can't say that he knew he was going to lose the 400 zuz because he thought she was a Bas Yisrael, in which case he would not have been fined. So you could say if he knew it was a Kuthite and if it was appropriate for him to be concerned about the sneus of a Kuthite, then you can say it was Mesiras Nefesh because he knowingly put himself into a position where he was going to lose money.
Oh, if the Jewish woman would have gone to the Beis Din, they wouldn't have awarded her 400 zuz.
I presume because it says in the Gemara that it was then discovered that she was a Kuthite, and therefore they awarded her 400 zuz.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. So Tiritz, so he answers, Mikomakom, lo haya davar zeh boretz lo. But so he answers, the matter was not entirely clear and certain and definitely the case that she was a Jewish woman. He figured that she was. Maybe it was because it was a marketplace that was frequented by basically Jewish people. I don't know. In any case, that's what the Ben Yehoyada answers. He didn't know for a fact that she was a Jewish woman, and so therefore what? Hayalo lachush shema nachrisi. For that reason, he should have been concerned for the possibility that she is a non-Jewish. Umikomakom Amar. Never knew that there was a possibility that she was a non-Jewish. Amar, he said, She'im Bas Yisrael Hi Toiv Ani Oseh. If it's a Bas Yisrael, then good, I'm doing it. Im Hi Nachris, and if it turns out that she's a Nachris, Bis Chayev Mammon Al Masazeh, and as a result of that, I'm going to be Chayev to pay big time. Oh, Shehi Mindashay Hasarim. Maybe this is the wife of one of the Sarim, right? Maybe he's a minister of the interior. Maybe he's a minister of the health. Maybe he's maybe he's part of the Knesset. Wow. Then what could be? The Kabel Yisurim Shel Sakana. Oy vavoy, what they would do to me if I did something like this to disturb the indecency of such a woman, right? I mean, the truth of the matter is it's equally indecent for a non-Jewish woman to dress in this way as well as a Jewish woman, right?
So yeah,
I mean, it's an improper it's incites and entices and attracts attention in a very provocative and a harmful way, whether it's a Jew or whether it's a non-Jew. The damage is the same. The only difference is that if it's a non-Jew, so then we're understanding that he's going to have to pay for putting her in place, or even worse, he could suffer if she's a member of the Knesset. Who knows what they could do to her for doing an act of religious coercion or something of that sort. Mikol makom arviach bezeh she's kadesh shem shemayim al yodi. Now, he says, whatever the situation is, even if she's a non-Jewish, I have accomplished the sanctification of Hashem's name, that there shouldn't be such a dress that's seen in the shuk. What was under the dress, I don't know. That's still my question. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Ki hashomim yomru, people who hear this, because this incident is going to be in the New York Times. It's going to be spread all over the Yediat Achronot, and everybody's going to be talking about it. And what are they going to say? Ki hashomim yomru, people who will hear this will say, Kama charedim Yisrael al mitzvahs shalahem. Wow, look at that. It'll be reported in the New York Times. You see how the Jews are so zealous and caring about the mitzvahs that Hashem has commanded them in. Yes, that's what the New York Times is going to report, according to the Ben Yehoyada. Shezeh hachacham niskana v'hevi atzmo lidei sakana, and that this person who is known, Rav Ada bar Ahava, he was a great sage of the Jewish people, how he put himself in such a situation of danger in order to sanctify Hashem's name. V'lo chashash, and he had no concern for his own safety or well-being. Shem and Nochrisi, maybe it was a non-Jewish, or Minashe Sorim, or a wife of the prime minister, maybe even. They could have put him in jail. They could have done worse than that. Who knows what they would have done? Umikach lemadnu sherav Ada bar Ahava mosa nafsho al kiddush Hashem. So in the conclusion, Ben Yoyodo explains that it was in fact, like the Gemara says, an example of the earlier generations who were Moser Nefesh al Kiddush Hashem. So it's interesting. I'm getting interested in this story. The Gemara mentions, though, that he thought that she was a Bas Yisrael. So that exactly is the Ben Yoyoda's kasha. What's the Mesiris Nefesh? He's not going to have any fallout for doing such a thing to a Bas Yisrael. That was the Ben Yoyoda's take on the matter, and therefore he asked this question. The only tzad that Rav Ada bar Ahava would have suffered over here monetarily or materially or even physically would be on the tzad that the woman was not a Bas Yisrael, that she was a kusis. And therefore the Ben Yoyoda has his kasha. So what was the Mesiris Nefesh? He acted thinking that she was a Bas Yisrael. That's what the Gemara says. He thought she was a Bas Yisrael. And therefore he went, it sounds like the Gemara is saying, and therefore he went ahead and did what he did. So according to his thinking, what was the Mesiris Nefesh involved at all? So that's what the Ben Yoyoda was saying. He thought more likely than not she's a Bas Yisrael. But did he know for a fact that she was? Absolutely not. She could have been the prime minister's wife for all he knew. Especially according to the way Rashi explains, she was wearing a lavush chashuv.
11:31.
Okay, 11:31. You say goodbye to Meir and Eliezer. Yashikoya.
Okay. Have a good day,
Have a
everyone.
good day.
Famous
Yes.
Gemara of Ada bar Ahava. Mesiris Nefesh al Kiddush Hashem. We'll be back soon.
Okay.
Be'ezus Hashem.
Today on the newscast, it's a Watchmen exclusive as we go beneath the Western Wall in Jerusalem for an up-close look at ancient artifacts dating back some 2,700 years to the time of Solomon's temple and